Welcome back to the PGL Americas Minor. It is the last best of 3 of the day. It is Cloud9 versus Immortals, the 2 invited teams, you could say the 2 seeded teams, and it should be a great matchup. I'm joined here on the desk by the duo that is Henry G and Sadikist. You look very happy, Matt.
He's got his best friend with him, Freiberg.
Is that Freiberg? He's a keyboard warrior who has to sit and watch the minor, just like us.
Oh, he's a ninja.
No.
He's a ninja.
He's a ninja and a keyboard warrior.
James, yes, I agree. I'd say these are the 2 favorite teams of the tournament. It's kind of the winner bracket game right now. Cloud9 not looking as promising as they did on day 2, I have to say, but still got the 2-0 out. Immortals, similar sort of story. Could have actually slipped away from them against CLG, but both teams looking relatively good stead. It's unclear who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, Chad was saying earlier he wasn't really sold on Immortals yet. Why do you think that is, Matt?
Well, it's interesting that Henry therefore just said he's not sold on Cloud9. I think Chad's
really
a tough man to sell. He expects pristine qualities for low prices and oftentimes very much enjoys handouts. So I can understand why he's not sold on anything in his life. But I actually am sold on Immortals. I think they're looking good. I think the double up setup can definitely be broken down. If there's a team to do it in this tournament, it is Cloud9. They've got a lot of skill on their rifles in specific. There's the lineup. There's the 2 guys I wanted to speak about.
Yep.
I was about to say Skidooey again. Stewie and Automatic. So
those
2 guys can definitely, it is a real problem. Those 2 guys can definitely take advantage of that double up setup. Now, it is a promising CT side for Immortals. I just don't like that they've been trying to pick it up on T sides. It was costing them a bit this morning, unlike in the group stages where they were less challenged.
And how about Immortals? Should we have a look at the lineup?
Let's do it.
There, as you just
I'll run
mentioned.
you through it.
So, yes, KNG.
KNG looks gangster in that photo.
He does, doesn't he? Right at the front there. Lucas, Bolts, KNG, Henny, and Steel. Names we're all familiar with at this point. KNG, obviously the newest addition, coming from the 1.6 era. Hasn't really made a dent in CSGO as of yet. He is an AWPer. He replaced FNX when he came into the lineup. That was a bit of a shocking move, I would say. There was some relation problems within the team, and it seemed like FNX had to be removed. It was just interesting that KNG, known to be a main AWPer, was brought in when they've already got Henny, which is still developing, I think. I don't think they've found their feet fully as to how this team's going to be kind of going forward, but it looks okay. KNG, especially this afternoon, looked very good, I think. He dropped a 30 bomb on the train game, so that was quite impressive. He can rifle as well. We saw that on the T side, very good with the rifles as well, so that's fine. But still, this team, I think, if you had to push me at the beginning of the tournament, who's the favourite, I would say Immortals, just because of the form Cloud9's been in as of late. I would say Cloud9 have a higher skill ceiling, but right now in current form, I say Immortals just edges it.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go.
Okay, how much do you think it will depend on the maps that we're about to see in this best of 3?
I think it's more the form of Cloud9 than the maps itself. Obviously, there is some things that lend themselves to the double ops. I think Immortals will be more inclined to try and get maps where they can run that. We know they're good on Overpass. They've had success on Overpass this weekend. But I did want to touch just quickly on Skadoodle. I've actually been impressed with him this tournament. I think this is some of the best form he's been in. Had a really good round yesterday. That was a bit of, I guess, luck in that he was gifted the second kill in the Tech 9 as he ran out of connector and then almost clutched it for the win against CLG. But I think he's been looking more and more solid as of late, and I think including in Dallas, even though they struggled in the groups.
Cool. So let's have a look.
Cool.
Let's have a look at very cool stuff. Let's have a look at the veto. Let's see what these teams have chosen to play. Cloud9 started off with Train, Immortals with Cash.
Oh,
so then it decided
Cloud9 banned Overpass immediately, which is not surprising against Immortals.
Cobblestone as well. I think this favours Immortals generally. Cash, I haven't been impressed with Cloud9 with, especially their CT sides have looked very poor. The T side's okay, but the CT side, I don't think they'll be able to contain Immortals on their T side. For Train as well, we have seen that double up set up for Immortals today. It did look very good. They did go down 10-5 in the first half, but the recovery on the second was actually very impressive. I think they've got warmed up now. They kind of found their feet on that map. I think the first map, that's the most interesting. I think that's going to set the tone for the game. Yeah. Like we said, both teams not looking amazing today. They kind of made a lot of mistakes between them. Cloud9 looked lights out on the first day they played, right? That was amazing. It looked so good. But they haven't replicated quite that form. It's still decent, but the stars haven't really aligned for them just yet. So I think Train, it's a good thermometer as to where we're going. And yeah, could go the full distance. If Cloud9 get that one, I think almost certainly Immortals get Cash. Cobblestone, historically, a great Brazilian map, especially for Immortals as well. We're historically one of the best T sides in the entire world on that map. They were fantastic. They blew everyone out the water. Right up until Zeus joined, really. Then it kind of started going.
It started to fall apart. I lean toward where you're going with that. I actually think Cloud9's only chance for map in this is Train. Cobblestone, interestingly enough, they had a choice between Mirage and Cobble, which were the 2 that were left. They obviously, the way the graphic works Next year is actually a good representation of that because you kind of banned to pick the last, so they would have banned out Mirage to land on Cobblestone. They struggled against CLG, Cloud9 yesterday on that map, and Immortals are looking okay on it. I have to say they're all about the mid control. All about it. So Cobblestone going over to that definitely opens up a lot of space. Question is, Henry,
Yeah.
you famously hate the double up set up on Cobblestone, but they're definitely going to run it.
It's not like I think it's bad. I think it's just so situation. I don't think you should be aiming for it every single round. I know Chad kind of agrees with that sentiment as well. It's just the idea that it can be very good when you know the team's got like weak money or running away with the game, you manage to pick one up. As soon as they kind of detect you have the double orb set up, you're very vulnerable to the full executions, which it's a map like Cobblestone. You can go straight towards B, wall of smoke. A lot of teams do it, and then you're really struggling to retake the bomb site. So sure, if you're having a great game and it seems to be working, let's go with it. But I wouldn't be aiming to do it every single round. And KNG, he seems to be the sort of player, kind of like similar to Na'Vi, when Simple first joined, he seemed to every opportunity to get going for the double orb. He wanted to be an AWPer with Guardian. And that's what I kind of get the kind of tone here with Immortals. So I'm not that excited about that prospect, but hopefully they can kind of manage that and hopefully it's not too much of an issue.
Okay, great. We are going to jump straight into Train. This a little bit is all on the line now because it is the upper bracket final. The winner of this best of three goes into the grand final tomorrow, which means they will be our first team who will go to the major qualifier. So this is a big deal for both of these teams. I'm going to hand over to our casters, which is Moses and Chad.
Woo!
There's been a lot of switching things up today, this week with the casting.
What would you prefer to be, Munge or Sposus?
Sposus, I think. Munge sounds quite dirty. I think.
Yeah, sounds a bit like a vagina.
Yeah, it's
I'm
something
glad
akin to it, at least.
the analyst stopped talking there because we're ready to go.
Yeah, we have been. Why are they just wasting all this time? They're holding up the entire game, really.
Gas bags.
Yep. Either way, Immortals, Cloud9, the winner of this qualifies for the main qualifier.
This is the prize in itself, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you do win, you get a nice little bit of cash on top of it. But to get to that major qualifier itself is where all these guys want to be. And these two, as we said from the start of the tournament, are the favorites. Going into Train right now, I'm going to have to put this one in the court of Cloud9, as I think Immortals looked a little bit sketchy. They relied on bolts with some really big rounds to get them back in, and KNG as well.
Well, the last time these guys met I guess this isn't really a typical grand final, but it can kind of be. The last time they met in a grand final was that tournament up in Toronto last year.
Northern Arena.
Northern Arena Toronto.
Yeah.
I was there. I should have known the name of that. And Immortals actually won that. That was when Zeus was playing.
Yeah, I'd say Immortals have gotten the better of Cloud9 over the years since the formation of this team. And Immortals do that to a lot of the North American squads. I think they're pretty dominant when it comes to these. I'm using domestic with air quotes here, but yeah.
The air quotes coming out. Well, Cloud9 is geared up to pressure this outer bomb. So here come the smokes. This is going to be such an aggressive push. Lucas a little bit blinded. That's a nice shot. Shroud falls very, very quickly. And actually, these are great angles that Immortals are set up, and Cloud9 can go nowhere.
Yeah, the two smokes that they laid down really didn't give them much to work with. They're just getting opened up on right now, and the USPs are making all the frags. Scooter will last alive. We'll go down to bolts there. The two smokes they used were to isolate towards Vines and CD Connector, but they weren't playing in any of those positions, really, and Lucas found success from back of the bomb train. When you do something like that on the pistol round, I guess you're hoping that they're playing a setup ready to rotate inside because you want to stop them from being able to see anything from Connector, and in that case, it wasn't to be.
It seemed to throw him off that Immortals just stepped in front of the smokes, right? Just kind of, they fought in front of him instead of staying behind him, and just some very nice shots. I mean, Lucas, it always helps, obviously, that the one bullet headshots just take like the main primary bite out of that attack, just immediately. Either way, investment from Cloud9, still dangerous on these rounds. I've seen Stewie's Deagle do tons of work over the past year. There's an M4 at range, though, and it's going to win that duel easily. Lucas again with first blood in the second round. Nothing to really follow this up as well, and those Deagles have to do something because there's no utility on the T side.
Yeah, they're just hoping for picks here. They haven't really gone in with a plan other than spread out, and hopefully we can find a couple of headshots, which it does work more often than not, which is surprising to me, to say the least. I like it when teams use teamwork, maybe a pop flash here and there, but Lucas is just moving around finding frags.
Yeah, well, it's really nice that Lucas with the M4 has found all the duels, even at range against the Deagles, and he's got some pressure on him now. Automatic with one kill, gonna get a second, maybe opening things up. It's the Tech-9, not the Deagles that do it, but all across the map. The rest of the gaps are closed. Immortals still taking a lot of pressure from Automatic. He's got 1 HP, though. This surely should be the end, and Henny finds him. A little bit of danger, and Shroud lurking inside all the way.
This is doable, right? Like this position with 47 seconds left on the clock. If he can find Henny stuck at the back of the bomb train, that'll be his first duel, and then over to the bomb to where KNG is. Anything could happen right now. He's heard him.
Yeah, he's heard the footsteps. He's on the hunt. And he's going to check this. I don't think Henny is going to have any idea that this timing is underway. Oh. But how do you approach going up there? Shroud's looking for the headshot there. He's been spotted now. Henny just has to play it safe. It's going to be awkward to try and get his teammate in a position where they can actually get a crossfire set up, but Shroud's going to go on the hunt, and he just cannot select the right angle quick enough. And there it is. Fortunate with the timing is Henny as he spots him at the last moment.
Yeah, timing was not Shroud's friend there. Henny was really lucky that he got up there just with the nick of time and then didn't peek too far out that window. His head could have been taken off at any second, but now we're going to see 5 UMPs coming out from the guys of Immortals. They didn't get that M4 that Lucas has back, so that sucks a little bit. That's going to suck away some of the economy. Automatic's been having a much bigger impact now that he's no longer in-game leading, and that's been thrown back to Stewie.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't get stuck in this cycle, though, of doing it between the two of them, because they're both amazing players. I'd hate to see them getting restricted due to leadership issues.
Right, and you need to, at this point, especially with the major coming up, just need to stick with one. I mean, it's kind of over. I guess the decision's been made. It's going to be Stewie. This should be, I mean, a lot of nade damage coming out. You could see all the red on those bars. And then it's just an easy cleanup. KNG does fall, no big deal. There's the Deagle chiming in right at the end, but I mean, not too much pressure after this. 3 UMPs left on the board. That's going to be the end of Automatic. So a quick 3-0 for Immortals, but now we're going to see the guns come out. I don't think we didn't see a plan in any of those 3 rounds. Although the second round did have a good amount of damage come out on it.
Skadoodle did full eco on both those, so yeah, he's able to get that AWP with the Kevlar up and at him, and KNG and old mate Enrique Iglesias both investing in the AWPs.
Yes, double op setup, very expensive to come out. KNG down to $350, and also the 3 kills that came out in the second round is going to be an impact, but they'll be able to buy next round even if they lose it. I think they'll just be missing the AWPs. Looking for some long-range impact, and it's actually going to be Ivy aggression out of Immortals to open things up.
Yeah, doing this boost over there behind the server, that's always a really effective way to use it as a one-way from time to time. I like getting up on top of it in my day.
Ooh, nothing with a preemptive spam. Is he still going to expect it? Crouch?
Oh,
do they not see each other? Is that just missed timing, or did he not? Yeah. No, he's going to go for it. He's a little bit frustrated, but they think boost is cleared. It's a double kill for Steel. That's nicely done. No map control left, so Cloud9 just has to push forward into this outer train yard. Hope they can catch someone on the rotation. But it's Lucas and Henny with the ops.
Why does Lucas have an AWP?
Why not? Why not pick up a third one?
So that that actually worked in the favor of Steel, right? Because it was Nothing's job to clear that. So when he went past and thought it was clear, Skadoodle just came around the corner, scoped on in, and 2 frags coming his way.
That obviously has to be a GoTV bug. That neither of them saw each other. Yeah, I mean, this just Steel getting aggressive over it. It's just kind of curious that neither of them seem to see each other. Steel kind of caught him right at the end, it looked.
Well, the thing with that, yeah, maybe it was we saw the smoke differently to how it was being seen for those guys, but definitely a blunder there for Cloud9, as they will be forced back onto the save.
Lucas tried to grab an AK at the end of that round, not able to do it in time, so onto an MP7.
We should just call it MP5.
I almost did there.
Yeah,
it would be nice.
You hardly see it nowadays. See these 2 smokes coming out from Cloud9 in the opening yard. This is a maneuver they used to do back in the day where they would use that to get nook control. They are just going to get mopped right now on the eco. This was just to close the distance. Not really. This is not what you want to do with pistols, Jason. You want to be using those smokes and maybe doing the smoke wall across the front of the bomb, maybe using them inside, or maybe pushing towards vines where you can close the distance. Coming out T-mid is one of the worst places. Even if you get into the yard, what have you got to take fights with? Yeah, absolutely, and especially because you're just kind of hoping they're playing close and aggressive, right? I mean, that's a little bit dicey, and just so many different angles you can get shot at. So 5-0 now for Immortals. The op again in Skadoodle's hands. He's at 0-5. Shroud at 0-5. Stewie at 0-5. That's not looking great. Donuts around the table.
Yeah. Double op setup still for the Immortals side of things. And I mean, they're still rolling with these SMGs. The money bonus can still climb. And what's the change in tactics here for Cloud9? They go a little bit faster. Nothing's at least already at the bottom of the ladder. Oh, that flashbang is great.
Henny with pressure on right now. Stewie jumping over, finding his head, getting an ult for himself, and he's going to take the territory as he pushes out high ramp.
There's a couple kills. And it all seems to come when it gets hectic, when things get lost, when everything just doesn't really make sense. Smokes everywhere. Steel finds one around it. Now it almost feels like this is going to prompt Cloud9 to go. Waiting for the smoke to clear. Bolt's close up, though, not able to get any of them. Can't turn around quick enough. And the entry is there. KNG down to 6, and they might just want to save this.
Yeah, that's a good call. Just to build on your point there, it appears that Cloud9 like it free and loose. You know, they enjoy being able to get away with frags, take territory, and push on up. And when the dominoes start to fall, it's always in their favor.
Yeah, they do seem to just have a knack, right, for finding the kills when everything gets a little bit crazy. We've noticed it throughout this event that they just don't seem to be slowing down. Steel stuck around a little bit longer, perhaps trying to take one more gun away. A little bit ill-advised, I think, but KNG with the AWP, he should be able to survive this. They have a long way to go to hunt him out.
Yeah, it's really not worth it with the way their economy is right now. I hope Stewie gets rid of that AWP because I don't think Cloud9 necessarily need that. It might.
It would go away from what we just talked about, right? Where they seem to find kills in Mayhem, and Stewie's like the primary cause of Mayhem on this Cloud9 team. So if he's slowing down with an AWP trying to find picks, nicely done from Shroud.
That's nice there in the end.
That's huge.
Everyone who was on 0 frags just got a kill. So that's how you win rounds.
Yeah, imagine that. It all makes sense now. Well, they are going to stick with the double ops setup. Back into the double op investment for the Immortal side of things. That eats up a lot of cash. KNG and Henny, I mean, you can see they both spend just around, I mean, $6,400 and $7,000.
Yeah, if they lose this and don't save any guns, their economy's going to be pretty broken. Steel and Bolts will have enough to maybe drop some guns, do some...
Lucas will be on the edge.
Yeah, it'll be close, but Stewie's starting it off. We just criticized him for keeping that, but he's going to find the opening regardless and gets away with his life. So right now, the pace can be slowed by Cloud9. They can find the space that's been made. Steel is actually taking a bit of territory of his own with an Ivy push, relatively aggressive.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the timing on this push. If he doesn't feel any pressure, when does he choose to go for a peek, find information? But he's poised very, very well. That's why you can see 2 defenders towards the inner bomb site. Bolts is going to be here watching the upper ramp. 3 members of Cloud9 coming down lower, and that's the worst. Lucas just rotates away at the wrong moment. It's all on Bolts. He gets 1, gets 2. That's massive. That holds him off, that delays. And 2 ops left for Cloud9. They still have yet to take the bomb site.
Oh, boy. That's a bit of a crumble right there. As everything seems to have slowed right down. But
speaking of crumble.
And we're back. And the round's over. And Immortals win. Hooray!
Yes, that was beautiful. Nice.
That was really good by them, shooting the bad guys.
Bolts with a triple kill, though. Not trading him out was just heartbreaking for Cloud9. It seemed like they had a pretty decent read on that situation. They pulled the defender away. Everything was going well. They just don't get the kill.
Yeah, obviously Bolts, you mentioned, he was a thorn in the side right there. Not able to trade him is a big issue. Really slowed them down, and the rotation came in, and everyone else on the CTs were able to find kills while the rats of Cloud9 were sniffing out the cheese of Bolts.
What do you do going into the next round if you're Cloud9? I mean, it seems like you win a round when you go a little bit speed up. You switch to the double ops. Even with an opening pick, you lose that. Are you going back into something very fast-paced and aggressive? Or are you going to go slow and measured again?
Facepalm, and then probably try... I think, you know, they have utilities, so they want to do something, but I would like to see them do a quicker paced attack on inside again. You could draw that rotator, maybe catch someone with their pants down, and then fall back from there if you get a gun. And also is an easier place to execute on when you're low on utility, in my mind. Has slowed down a lot right now, though. All 4 of the members of Cloud9 are posturing around Pop Dog, above it, below it. Smoke will come out, and all 4 of them actually want to come out as Lucas will find 1. Molotov will hold them off for now, but doesn't look good for Cloud9. Getting taken down. Jordan getting 1, but it's just a novelty frag as the round will go in the favor of Immortals, who are running away with this one early. Lucas doing work.
Yeah, and Cloud9, there's a timeout being called here, so that's not bad from them. Need to talk things over. Yeah, and Immortals has done a really good job on rounds of when they've already got them pretty much secured, of not losing too many players. Outside of that second round where they lost 3, like a round like that, pretty easy to get push up and try and go for a frag right at the end and you just get taken out, drop the weapon. But they're using the range of those M4s very nicely. And Cloud9, one of the things we've seen is success on those rounds, on those force buy rounds.
Maybe we have to turn the attention back to what CLG did, you know, to have some success against these guys. They had some weird timings on attacks out mid and Pop Dog late. A fair amount of Vines pressure, if I remember rightly, and inside executes were working a charm to close down the distance and put those AWPs out of commission. But it's not the AWPers that are having the field day. It's actually Steel and Lucas who are getting the most done, and Bolts. The AWPers are both on 4 and 4, while we have Bolts on 8 frags, Steel on 9, and then Lucas leading the way on 11. So the riflers are the ones getting all the grunt work done here early on.
Well, once again, Shroud's going to be sent towards the inner bomb site.
Steel again.
Yeah, more aggression towards Ivy. This is huge. And he's winning
control of this part of the map, right? That's making things extremely easy for Immortals. Usually this is one of the weaker portions of the map. It's one you can harass with utility. We'll get traded out through the smoke. That's good by Jordan there to equal things up. I should not call them by their first names. That's very bad of me.
I like it.
I'm sorry, everybody.
It's all right. Just name dropping. Let them know that you're friends.
One time we shook hands. All right, so now the control will be in the favor of Cloud9. That Molotov and Smoke will displace KNG, but he's happy to play in front of it. Very JWS here with this maneuver, pushing out, knows that the utility came from the right side. Will punish it.
How has he gotten away? How is he still alive? Cloud9 cannot punish him whatsoever, and he's even going to get all the way back. Meanwhile, Automatic trying to make a play out mid, sees a gap in the defense. He gets taken out. The ops being very effective, and maybe that peak a little unwise. Maybe just take what you've already won.
Not necessary. He is making a lot of mistakes so far. I've noticed him over-peaking a lot, but to be playing at this level for him, it's very new. And this boost coming up, he's going to get spotted out. Now they know where the last player is. Skadoodle making a lot of multi-frags before. He'll get one through the smoke on Lucas. He's actually been looking quite sharp across the board with the weaponry this event, Jason.
Yeah, he has looked good. He has looked on point.
If he wins this, he'll be my favorite North American player.
Maybe KNG's just really excited to have the op in his hands.
So
he's just going for everything.
Yeah.
This guy can do it, I swear. Either way, 15 seconds left on the clock. Skadoodle making his move. That smoke's going to subside just now. Henny, though, is coming around the corner. Nice from Skadoodle. He does eventually get it. 10 seconds. And Bolts is right there. The bomb is being planted, and he's making his move around the back of the bomb train. Skadoodle, this is all on timing now, and he's got it. He's got the aim, and he's going to win it. That is a big play from Skadoodle. The second round on the board for Cloud9, and the crowd goes wild.
I am the world's biggest Skadoodle fan off the back of that. He has been doing fantastically in those situations. Either he's had a Deagle, he's picked up the AK. On Mirage and Keish, he had some really interesting rounds on the T side, making it super difficult for his opponents to build up cash. And that one right there is definitely going to hurt the Immortals, guys. That was a gimme.
Yeah, it comes down. I mean, you hate to harp on it at times, but I mean, it's just a bunch of small mistakes that add up in those rounds, right? Like KNG going for that extra peek and falling there. Think of that kind of a situation if he's able to stay alive.
I'm going to blame that all on him.
Yeah, you want to?
Here's the opening move of the smokes coming out again, and this is going to force utility out of the players from Immortals, who are pushing up. Steel is pushed up into Sandwich. He can actually see into teammate and see there's been no threat at this point, but it's a two-pronged attack as Pop Dog and Team Mid are being occupied by Cloud9. Stewie pushes out. He's going to find one at E-Box. Trade out his gun here for the M4, and still aggressive, still close. In the back line, we'll find one. We'll find two through the smoke. That's a third for Steel.
And you've got to wonder, what are Nothing and Skadoodle doing so far back? They didn't see it coming. Steel gets a triple, maybe saves the round for Immortals. Skadoodle still alive with this AWP, trying to find their way towards the bomb site. A little bit of utility left, but this site gets so dangerous, and Nothing finds the angle. Bolts goes for the peak. Kanji still hasn't been able to find a way to get into the action. Now he's got to get aggressive. He's got two players around him, but they have no idea. Skadoodle's going to be a free kill here. He'll take that all day long. Nothing. He's going to swing out wide. It's a quick headshot.
Jordan with the punish.
He shuts it down. It's a good thing they recover that because, like I said, that's a big blunder, allowing Steel that much space. Oh, the Molotov's there, so excuse me.
That was my best play-by-play so far.
That was good.
Thank you. Learning from the best.
You've had a lot of time with the best.
Yeah.
This week. A lot of casting
the last couple of months as well. So Eco now for Immortals. You're going to see a smoke and a HE that could be used relatively deadly by Bolt, but KNG and Lucas just keeping USPs. Nothing too exciting coming out of them. They don't have much money at all. And Cloud9 should be able to seal this one pretty easily. I'm going to get ahead of myself here, and if they don't, then we can...
It's always awkward, isn't it, when it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be an easy wrap-up. Yep.
Is he going to try?
No way. Oh, he's got it as well. The flashbang, a lot of money, and he's one of the double uppers, so that's actually pretty big. And now there's a piece of weaponry that can make this dicey. Another flashbang comes out, goes for the peak, he gets a second. But he is surrounded, and he's all alone. One more for KNG. He's got three, and he's going to get a fourth, and it's down into a one-on-one. What a heroic round from KNG. That is phenomenal. And the bomb is all the way back. That's a pet peeve of yours.
Yeah, why is it ever at spawn? What are you spuds doing? Bloody potatoes. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Skadoodle's found himself in a one-on-one. He was able to win that clutch before. It's going up against Mr. Enrique Iglesias, who does have that AK in hand. He's in a very forward position, looking into teammate, and that's exactly where Skadoodle will be approaching from. Has he seen him? He's seen him. Bullets. Oh, shot out by Henny, and now both players know where one another are.
Yeah, plenty of time left to toy with, though. 40 seconds. And Skadoodle with the AWP, this is the dangerous part, because Henny's going to want to get aggressive for information. And Skadoodle's not scoped up perfectly, and that's a takedown. And that's... Oh.
How do you spell gutting?
KNG.
Oh, yeah, that's a better one.
There we go.
Yeah, that was an amazing round by him. Finding this knife frag is just like a huge boost of confidence and cash in his back pocket to upgrade to that AWP later on. But then... the AK, he was amazing with this in their previous game on the T side, doing it again here on the CT side and turning an eco round that I said they had absolutely no chance in on its head. It's
incredible that he's able to find so many one-on-one duels when he's at the top of a train like that. Like, he's exposed from so many different angles. And there's an easy kill. Stewie walks right into it. Dueling the op with the deagle isn't going to work.
Take a pause. Let's deal with this classic C9 tilt. We know We know, Jason, that this team can get on edge.
They can get emotional, can't they?
Yeah, Stewie, I would say because he's very passionate and normally he does things very well. When stuff like that unfolds, it's just a way for a younger player to shut down. And you never want that to happen.
Well, and they don't have the slow pace to fall back on, right?
Which is a blaring gap. I know that Immortals have it, right? Because they have that base based off of coming from under Fallen and looking up to those guys as their mentors. So that is definitely in the back pocket of Immortals, and we've seen them bring it out and be able to be flexible on the pace. But Cloud9 have relied on being that steam train. And that train needs some wood right now.
Ooh, there's an M4. Skidoodle's going to find it. The inner bomb site was barely open for just a second. It's closed up now. Obviously, he can't know that, but yeah, 1-on-4. I guess best scenario here is to take away some weapons right at the end, but I highly doubt someone like KNG or Henny, they're going to get anywhere near death in this round.
Yeah, if he can find 2 more frags, I was saying to Anders, one of the goals of an in-game leader I had back in the day was always try and take 3 weapons in any situation, so it makes it more difficult for the CTs to be able to drop guns. Not so poignant in a game like CSGO, but because of the pistols and the UMPs and that kind of stuff. But to stop them from being fully equipped with the best weaponry they can hope for.
Even just a Molotov or a kit or a nade of some sort.
That's the goal. And those little bits and pieces of utility actually play a huge role as rounds unfold. So Cloud9 will be taking another eco or a fuller eco this time around. We did see pistols on them before. And once again, there's a few upgraded.
They have to, don't they? They just don't have the money to invest even if they wanted to.
Let's talk about the success that Cloud9 have had so far.
Let's do it.
So the one round was where Stewie had the kill inside, which opened up the inner bomb site.
Yep.
The other one was where Skidoodle won that
1v2
amazing round. Was it a 1v2? Was it a 1v4?
Was it a 1v4?
It was at least a 1v3. Anyway, it was a big clutch by Skidoodle that it was a 1v3, definitely,
right.
which was pretty sick. And then where did the other one come in? Was it when they were eco?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember either, actually.
We need to start taking fish oil or something.
Increase the memory. Either way, Steel with 2 Molotov kills. This is all a ruse. They want to get the bomb planted at the inner bomb site where they have 1 kill. Skidoodle with an AWP could be dangerous if he could find one. He can at least provide cover if the bomb could get down, but it's not going to. Lucas shores up that gap in the defense pretty quick. And yeah, this is pretty much all over. Does Skidoodle save this, though?
Yeah, they're not going to let him.
He's got 3,300.
Right? Yeah, but look how much time there is. The worst thing that could happen is if he tries to save it and then goes down.
Yeah, and then goes down.
But well, look at this. Look at this positioning right now by Automatic. There is a chance in this. If he can find a frag, what will happen is the CCs will panic, and then Skidoodle will get 3 kills and they'll win the round.
They're looking for it, though. Immortals is just all over this. Yeah, Lucas looking towards CT spawn, KNG as well, and Connector. They have all the angles covered towards the center bomb site. It would have to be some kind of crazy timing. But Skidoodle obviously falling back, not to save, just to give time for Automatic to make a play, and hope maybe Bolts walks into his crosshair. All that time, and he wasn't ready for it. Automatic goes down finally. 10-3, a dominant first half so far from Immortals.
Yeah, if they close this out from here and they get a 12-3, that's huge. You know, this is Cloud9's pick after all.
Yeah, it is. That's actually pretty crazy to think about as well.
Yeah, this is such a slow start. I know that from watching Cloud9, especially when this roster first came together, one of their best things was their CT sides, right? And how dominant they were at holding positions. So can't rule them out of it yet. They can definitely start that CT side strong and hold on to it. These teams have very similar qualities in that regard, I believe. But right now, that flair, that Brazilian flair that we always talk about, is doing work.
More aggression towards Ivy. Once again, the Simba won't find anyone immediately there, but they can grab info. 2 players of Cloud9 down ladder, and they are in all positions to execute as soon as they want. So I imagine it's going to happen, and unfortunately it comes right as the counter utility comes out. There's an easy kill for Henny, not blind. Even tags up a second one. So much damage being dealt to Cloud9, and they cannot find success. They can't get to this bomb site without taking heavy losses. 1 through the smoke as well for KNG. Somehow they've traded into a 2-3, but they've got a flank coming in. They've got bigger issues to deal with.
Do Cloud9 know there is a minute 55 seconds on the clock?
I don't believe so.
Because they are tilting me so hard right now. Every time they try and do something, it's always early. It's always within the first 55, 40 seconds of the round. And what's going to happen in that case? Your smokes come over. Well, Immortals are going to throw their utility right back at you. You're going to sustain a lot of damage before you even get to the bomb site. And the smokes that they're throwing in, they're not even really blocking any positions. You can get on top of the 6 train, right? You can get on top of that train. You can chill up there with your AWP. You can move to the back of the bomb train if you get smoked out from Connector. The isolation smokes that they're throwing need to be thrown really late round when the CTs have already had to move around and they have to play safer because of no utility.
Well, I mean, it's pretty telling that when you use utility on those outer bomb sites, like you're supposed to be blocking off the oppers, right? That's the main thing it's used for. Just don't get taken out by 1 hit. Well, Henny gets not only a kill, but a tag onto another player. KNG's had some very good rounds as well with the AWP. utility. So, I mean, this utility is not blocking off the Brazilian snipers whatsoever. There's too much damage coming out early on.
So it's not very well thought out, right? The whole idea on train when you do a default is you want to draw a rotator back to inside. You want to force the inside player to use all his utility. So when or if an attack comes in, he has to play more of an off angle or one and done spot where you should hopefully be able to trade him, or he relies on a teammate to cover him. You want the Ivy/Vines, I'm going to stick with Vines player to use all of his utility, so he has to play in the back lines or take a risk. Right now, they're having the freedom to do whatever they want across the map because they're not spreading the CTs thin. Right? They're not making them work for it. They're just going, well, we're all going to pop out of only 2 choke points 90% of the time. And you can have 4 players looking at that at any given time. So here's a couple of kills. And you know who's obliging them?
Who's that?
Lucas, Steel, and Bolts.
Yeah, they're having a really good time, aren't
No,
they?
wait, KNG's jumped up. Bolts has dived off a little bit.
Well, they've all had their rounds. Bolts had that beautiful round towards inner.
Yeah, they're all pushing the vehicle right now, pushing the bus.
Yeah.
Or they're all in the bus.
They're all definitely in the bus. On the other side of things, I mean, this is pretty telling, and you think some of the impetus for Cloud9's success is Stewie and Automatic, some of that early pressure. Both of those guys pretty low on the leaderboard.
Maybe they need some Viagra.
Yeah.
Oh, that's impotent.
Yeah. It's all right.
They're close.
I still like the Viagra reference.
All right, back in action. That was just a little technical pause, I believe, from Cloud9.
Small one. Either way. 3-11. Cloud9 need this last round to give themselves some kind of a window into the second half. Not fully bought up yet either as time comes down. This is pretty late in the buy time, maybe kind of trying to figure out exactly how they want to buy, what strategy they want to run, which utility they need. Stewie's got the Galil, AKs otherwise.
It's too late in the game right now for Cloud9 to go back to a default, to really try and do what I was saying. They have to hope that they just have a play in mind that they can make work. They are going for Brown Walls control, and they have spread out a lot more. Which to me says they want to do something similar to what I was saying. You've got Skadoodle just waiting very passively right now for the Vines push. KNG's push right up though, super aggressive with that AWP. So if anybody gets a bit lazy and wide picks that corner, they'll be going down quick as anything. And the late pop dog take that's coming in, you know, they're going to use utility to get in there, but nobody from Immortals is even playing in the room.
And they don't have a lot of utility to do it. So actually, they don't even use much to get down ladder. They just risk it. There's the pop flash out. There's not an opening first kill. KNG does eventually fall. Traded off by Lucas, and they don't have any smokes, but they've got nothing with the headshot at range. Pushing slowly, encroaching onto this bomb site. The angle from Henny gets the feet of Stewie. Down into a 2-on-2, and still the bomb site is not taken. Already the rotation is here. Bolts is close by and connector blocked off by smoke. But Henny's taking pop shots. Bomb is going to be planted. No move yet from Bolts and Connector. Now he bides his time. But he gives away his position with a couple shots. Skadoodle gets a corrosive. They do find Bolts, and they've got him zoned in. 2 quick kills for Cloud9. They get their 4th at least.
Yeah, CLG did something very similar on their gun round. Ethan was flashed out with a buddy from Pop Dog, and they had 2 guys come out of main. And they didn't really use smokes over the roof as a tell. They just used 1 flash to catch players off guard and make the frags and trade onto the site. Cloud9 were able to emulate something similar to that. Then KNG got fully blind up and was pushed right back, and they're able to make it into the yard, trade out efficiently, and get that bomb down. And from there, play the situation very nicely. So 4, is that the lifeline Cloud9 need?
They certainly need pistol round, as cliche as that is.
We're good with those.
1 smoke on Skadoodle, 1 kit as well. Can't have 2. Oh, look at this. Love this. Tank strategy for Cloud9 inside. 3 players pushing up lower ramp, 1 at upper. This is going to be a battle. Lucas leading the way. He's going to get the first, and he's going to push forward, jumping over. Not expecting that many bodies. The trades down into a 3-on-3, but Immortals, this is a great call. Very decisive. They say there's 2 more bodies inside. Just take outer bomb site, and KNG finds himself in a great spot. Nothing with his knife out, gets dropped. And here's the footsteps. A long way to go in this retake for Cloud9, and there goes Automatic. It should be all over from here.
Skadoodle has so much work to do. He does have the kit, and he will smoke off 2 players in connector, but they can get together and boost over this one, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Skadoodle is really taking his time right now to get towards the bomb site, seeing if he can find anybody, getting a little bit greedy for the frag. KNG with another frag for this round. So just to break down what happened, because we were mainly focusing on that inside exchange, but there was a fake being thrown outside. A player got out to Nook, and they were flashing the yard, and what happened when they didn't actually see anything on the yard, the inside fight happened, and they were able to fall back because they had already taken a lot of control of outside, and from there it was Immortals round to lose, and they locked down the after plant quite well. But just something else to talk about, Jason, was that push by Cloud9. I don't think you should ever follow through with that push. You should stay on the low ramp in decent positions until the bomb is called. Because if you push in a situation like that, you could be walking into T's with Glocks ready and waiting, just like we saw.
Yeah, just exactly like what happened. And it was a slaughter. And either way, I mean, having the good intel as well. Oh, that's a nice shot from nothing. So a chance with this scout if he can make more happen. He tags up one. Bolts and KNG at about half HP, but all the other teammates have fallen. Yeah, it's that twist around is, I mean, it just shows how decisive the call is from Immortals side of things, that KNG is able to get all the way into the end of connector towards inner bomb site before, like, that quickly. That's super sick. And then he opens up, he keeps that whole bomb site open for his team. So very nice call from Immortals. Commanding lead 13-4, and Cloud9 with investment that round. They have to save it to this one if they want a chance moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's a long road up for Cloud9.
It just frustrates me that it seems like these teams never have anything in the bank to bring out in dire situations in terms of a practice move or a practice hold or a little gimmicky play. And right now, Cloud9 are going to invest once more. 2 scouts up this time, 1 on Shroud, 1 Skadoodle. UMP on Stewie, seeing how powerful that can be, and then 2 of the CZs.
I'm actually surprised they bought into this.
No, it's getting really dire for them right now. I think they're, I don't want to say they've given up, but I'd say they're probably on tilt at this point because nothing seems to be going their way. And on the first gun round, Jason, they would have had nothing anyway, so.
Well, I've got to hope they get something here. Nice pop flash. Automatic's going to get one. Stewie towards the inner bomb site. Someone just walked by him. That's an easy kill. And KNG is pinned. He's got to pick somewhere to go, and it's a knife. Right into the sword of nothing. Love to see it. And there's another one for him. Salvaged AK-47, so Cloud9, here's a lifeline for him.
Yeah, how you like damn apples?
Do you like apples?
Little man.
Little man. This, yeah, that's very interesting. How do you transition out of that?
Oh boy,
it's how I mean, I don't know if I like that from Immortals. Like just one player walking inside on an anti-eco, just walking up sidewalk, hoping he's not going to get seen. It seems a bit.
They were
risky.
kind of just running with what was working, which has been taking duels and winning them, right? And in that time, it came back to bite them in the ass. But Bomb will get planted inside. That's going to help the Immortals economy. They will most likely be able to buy going into next round. And when I say most likely, I mean definitely. But Bolts can do a lot of damage to this Cloud9 unit. It's going to make it very difficult.
When I say most likely, I mean definitely. Yeah, they've got 4 players over 3,000. It's only Lucas who's at 250.
He's all good. Someone will probably be able to help him out with something. There's no real dramas. Cloud9 are the ones who, they're only able to salvage 2 AKs. I think they are sending players off to find other guns right now, see if they can upgrade to something a little bit better.
Like one of the scouts. Well, Shroud's on top of a UMP, and he kept it.
Yeah, maybe they think that the range will come in handy here. They must be knowing that the Immortals guy's going to buy. I think the foot might stay on the throat of Cloud9 now. If I was Immortals in this current mindset where they are, I'd consider them doing something fast. And once again, KNG picks up the AWP as first preference.
Over Henny.
Yeah, we did see this just before as well. When it transitioned to the more dire straight stages, Henny picked it back up because KNG was getting so much space and so much work done with that AK. But maybe they're happy to mix up the duties. Not something I'm a fan of, but if they can make it work.
We saw CLG doing it a little bit earlier. Ricky was AWPing on the T side of train, and we talked about maybe that was a mental issue with Kusta. Maybe having a bad day with the AWP after that overpass game and just wanted to switch things up. But who knows there? Stewie's going to have a lot of work to do here, it appears.
This setup, a lot of teams do it, right? The AWP in the back line so you can rotate through very quickly.
But it's a scouter.
Look, if he gets flashed off, all action on Stewie. And if they're falling off of Hiram, but him, he's going to have to be able to flick left, right, center and get a lot of headshots done in a small amount of time. And 5 terrors coming your way is never something you want.
Well, there it is. Missed shot. Stewie's got 2 things to deal with. There's the tag up. He's keeping bolts frozen at the very least. That's a nice kill, but too many different avenues for that Tech9 to push up on him. Lucas up close, gets another one. He's down at 9 HP, still being aggressive. This is very nice. He's keeping this retake as far back as possible. Seal getting a kill outside. A great lurk. Prevents the rotations, and now, once again, dire for Cloud9. We've said it a lot. I don't think they can get back into this one.
Stewie must know that he can get swarmed in that position, right? Because he's not actually watching them coming out of low round. It's more so just kind of peeking it every now and again, and they can make it straight to the bomb train, which they did. And there's a 2-on-3 situation right now, and they are tapping the bomb, but...
There's just too many bodies, isn't there? Even with the trading coming out, even with Shroud jumping up like that, even with the taps. It's going to be another round for Immortals, and Cloud9's just bleeding rounds, bleeding money away. So 14-5. Cloud9 I mean, they just have to buy at this point, right? If they're going to buy in that second round, then they might as well buy now.
Desperate defines this second half for Cloud9. They had to make something happen there, and that's why I think you saw Shroud going in, even though it was so late and so dire for them in that situation. They are going to get an AWP up. Jordan's dropping that one across, and it'll get in the hands of Skadoodle, the man who normally wields it. Let's see if he can get some action done. And we don't just need him to be a bomb side anchor right now. We need him to actually give Cloud9 that spark like he did in that T side.
Yeah, and we've seen at times in the past, actually, when they've needed something like that, they've given it to Stewie, being like the aggressive, like playmaking kind of guy. But either way, I guess on the CT side, when you're Skadoodle, hold the angle, make sure you just nail the kills, nail the first shots. Here comes the attack. Lucas is going to lead the way. He's just walking out. Nothing's not even aware it's occurred. A little bit of miscommunication. Automatic's going to push up. Now he's got a great angle. Easy kill for him. No more pressure. So the early portion of this attack has sustained, and smokes are going to block the rest of Immortals out. It calms down for the moment. And Cloud9, they think this is a fake. They've rotated 2 players inside.
Automatic once again, like a moth to a flame. He treats that smoke as a shroud of cover, but we'll get spammed through it as noise is made on his legs. And Lucas picking up 2 more frags. This guy's doing work.
They've still got a decent amount of utility as well. No smokes, but they've got 4 flashbangs. So there's some things that can be utilized. Stewie's going to be the aggressor, make his way into the bomb trend, go to the front. He's going to try and find action. He's hungry for it. He gets 1 before he needs to fall away. There's Skadoodle finally chiming into the last 2 kills of the round. A 6th for C9 as they start to attempt to make a comeback.
Yeah, that's what you needed out of Skadoodle. We said he needed to get something done with it. It was late round, not as early, not spearheading the CT defense, but he's able to help them get across the line in that round. Guns will be dropped right now across the board for Cloud9. They're able to scrape together a pretty decent buy. On the other side, Immortals want to take this one to them. They don't want to let them build up an economy and let this comeback really get underway. But at the same time, this is a risk. This is maybe allowing them to do that with these pistols. But we saw before, Bolt's able to make something happen on a force fight. Can he do it again?
Well, standing in the flame, Skadoodle gets 1. He's got to be very careful. There's a second. Getting more and more aggressive, continuing to push up, and the danger is gone. It's just the Deagle on Henny. Very fast round. Immortals trying to catch Cloud9 off guard. It's not going to work. So 14-7 when this is all going to be said and done. That's pretty cool. So a late bid to make this into a match.
Yeah, you don't want to feed the beast that is Cloud9. Unfortunately, it is just Skadoodle and nothing who are running away with this one. Where's Stewie? Where's Automatic?
Yeah, they've been largely quiet, which is unfortunate, especially on the T side.
Uncharacteristic as well.
Yep. Either way, I mean, we talk a lot. This Cloud9 team's so good when they have momentum. So if they start getting it now, that is where it gets dicey for Immortals.
Look, I've been very impressed with Skadoodle this event so far. He's been putting up numbers. It looks like he's put in work and he's having a good tournament.
There seems to be a lot of veterans that have had like a quiet start to the year or quiet last year seem to be having resurgences of form, like MBK.
Your boy.
My boy.
Some big impact performances. And here's Stewie. This would be a chance to get, Automatic and Stewie back in the game. Farm up some eco frag. Get that confidence in there for the boys. Let's just talk about what transition Immortals should go into now, because they had that inside execute. That worked. That got them the 14th round. That was good. But then when they tried to go outside, they were kind of peeled apart. Automatic found that opening frag, and then from there, Skadoodle managed to chime in with a double and close it out. It
was a very different outer execute than what we're used to seeing out of a team like Cloud9, right? Like they just tried to like get out and find the duels and find the fights. It was like a little bit of a more passive execute.
So I would like to see Immortals maybe just go for that inside strat again. It worked before. You have a lot of rounds to work with, maybe even faking off of that or doing a double pump, something along those lines to make it a bit more interesting. But stick to those kind of players and you should find yourself sitting pretty with 16 rounds at some point in this game.
Double for Shroud. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to get the ops out. They're going to have 3 rounds of a losing bonus, so they'll be able to get an op, but I don't know if it'll have armor or utility or anything like that. But
I don't even know if they need it, Jason. I think
you want them to keep the pace?
Yeah, I think looking at KNG, who's been very impactful with that AK we saw in that round where he was able to pick it up. He got a lot of action done, right? So I would like to see them just stick with these AKs, and that's what they're going to do. Either do a really well-timed, well-paced execute on their outer yard, or stick to inside.
Well, I mean, either way, it's going to have to be... They don't have a lot of utility to play with, right? I mean, they have 5 smokes, but there's only flashbangs on KNG and Lucas, so it's not like they can use their utility to get into a good position, to get a cheeky kill, to set something up, and you can already see. Yeah, this is very quick, but is this a fake?
Someone's left the bomb behind.
Yeah, well, they're not going that fast-paced. They just use pretty much all their utility. 4 players of utility have been used, all to go for maybe 1 kill as they try and peek for information, but they haven't committed anywhere. Okay, so this gets that's pretty interesting, but now since it doesn't pan out, you feel like they don't have very many advantages. Somewhere they're going to peek into Skadoodle with the AWP. He's towards the inner bomb site at the moment.
What the hell is this, Dan?
They, they only have 2 flashbangs to work with. Yeah, this is awkward from Immortals. Either way, they've slowed the pace right down, haven't they?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What now?
Yeah, where do you go from here? It seemed like everything was used to get that 1 kill, that boost they had with Henny with the AK in middle.
Yeah.
Was like, you have 1 shot at this.
I understand it. What they want to do is force a player on top of a train to find the kill. The idea is really good and maybe better if you had more utility spread across, but it looks like inside is going to be the target.
It's all they have left, right? If you go outside, you have to have more than 1 smoke. There's too many different areas to clear off. So, and with the fact that Automatic is so pushed up with nothing towards ladder room, they have all the intel. When this smoke comes down, Skadoodle could just readjust. Actually, the timing!
Oh, no.
No, Skadoodle! You really do hate to see that. And it's a free bomb site now. Somehow that pans out.
What? Why?
Yeah, at that point, it's like maybe you should have just rotated someone inside. But either way, this is the round. It's over.
I don't have words for that.
It's like nails on a chalkboard, isn't it? Just feels uncomfortable.
That's not meant to happen like that. Everything Immortals did, they made the right play. They went towards the inner site because they didn't have any utility. They thought they could close it down. That's what they did. But if Skadoodle had just stayed like gun on for low ram and he didn't try and do 2 men's job, he would have found himself a frag and given Cloud9 a chance. But Immortals going to grab match point here.
Yeah, just the timing again. Just that 1 second glance from Skadoodle.
It's like when you're walking down the street and a girl with a nice bum walks past and you're walking next to your girlfriend and you quickly look over your shoulder.
Yeah?
You're going to get punished.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to go with like walking into like a pole or something like that. Just like, you check it out and you just walk into like a telephone pole.
That would... No. That's not as painful as the scorn of a woman's scorn.
Certainly is not as consequential. Yeah, 15-8. Double op setup. Stewie and Skadoodle both have theirs. This looks a little bit more fast-paced. Smokestart, actually, they're doing it again. They get the utility out. They're blocked off by Molotov, but they get some of this utility up close, and then they just kind of wait. They still want to toy around with these choke points. Automatic, this is going to be dicey timing for him. And he spots one. They know he's there now, so they're going to push forward, trying to clear him out of that position. Gap in the smoke, and Lucas knows it. Good adjustment on Automatic, and moving forward, Bolts gets one. There's Skadoodle finally chiming in. He can get more, and he needs it. Shroud on the rotation, fighting in the flames, goes down. 3-on-2 scenario. Op's still alive, and it's accurate. Not going to be able to get the second one. Stewie, meanwhile, with the other AWP, hasn't hit a shot yet. 1-on-2 scenario.
He's going to have a really rough time. He's had a really rough game, hasn't he, Stewie? Him and Automatic have been struggling to get anything done, and he's going to go down to steal. Quick game there for Immortals.
I have to... That round where Skadoodle just looks away just very briefly towards that upper ramp, that basically costs them everything, which is unfortunate because he had a good game other than maybe that one glance. That's why when you play double ladder, you can rotate someone back, right?
You're meant to, right?
You're supposed to rotate that fourth player outside, like back towards inside. So that's why you need it. You need someone to look at that upper ramp.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the analysts can look at that opening move that Immortals did in that last round. They did it a couple of times, but break that one down for us after the next ad break.
Yes, so we'll be right back after that.
Thanks very much, Munge. We are back here on the desk with Henry and Sadakist. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Yes, good. That was Cloud9's map. I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing we should take away from that.
Yeah,
right?
they are not the same team. Oh, have you got a point?
Got 2 points.
No, 2-0.
Oh,
2-0.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep going.
yeah, that was worth it.
Well, you guys were the ones that stopped. I was doing it
I
subtly
saw
for
my
those at
peripheral. I
home.
was like, what's going on?
Those who are watching along at home, they, carry on.
So this
Yeah.
is, I've been saying it all tournament long, that I feel like if Cloud9 don't have that great T-start on train, they're not the same team. They went down like 5-6-0, I think it was, and you could see them kind of crumbling at that point. Your key players aren't turning up, Stu and Automatic, almost non-existent. They've become to be the tag team duo of this team that can be world-class and go against absolutely anyone and wreck them with the AK-47s. It just doesn't seem like they could even get firing at all today. I think they finished on like 7 kills apiece.
Yeah.
Skadoodle and what's his name? Nothing.
What's his name?
What's his name?
The old legend.
Skadoodle or Nothing, the only players that are really performing then. That's a shame, because we've been saying that a few times throughout the tournament, that Nothing shouldn't be at the top of the scoreboard ever. Those two need to be up there. They look so caged today.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, Nothing has transferred into more of the elder statesmen on this team, and if he is top fragging, typically it's a bad sign for Cloud9. Skadoodle, I think, was okay. I continue to be impressed.
Touches again.
But one of the issues you said at going down really early in rounds was just how aggressive Immortals were toward Ivy. Here you go. I mean, Steel wins this one out. This is a bit of an interesting one because I think he was scoped in. And then Steel takes down Skadoodle to start it off. Nothing walks out. Double play. Boost up. Lucas ends up winning out on the... okay, never mind. I was still thinking about it. I thought he actually went out the crossfire. But they did this time and time again. They could not get Ivy control no matter what they did. And that was a huge aspect for Immortals to really set the tone early and take an economic lead that was really kind of unattainable for Cloud9 to recover from.
Yeah, just disappointing from all. This is the Cloud9 we did not see on day number 2. They looked so good, and I guess going up against Immortals, the absolute favourites here. They've got very similar play styles in our respect. They don't both have to play very fast, very loose, and get in there with great aim. And it just seems like Immortals turned up today, and Cloud9 didn't. We did have some very interesting rounds. We had a couple of knives in there. One from Nothing and then one from KNG, who's impressing me more and more as the tournament goes on. Like, I had my doubts about him, hearing that he was an AWPer, trying to rifle when he can be. Actually looks very impressive across the board. I think that's great. And you can see Immortals at this point. This is the great pistol. KNG's another player as well. Somehow gets towards his connector position all the time. They've got this great setup where they get smokes down, flashes out his objective just to get towards that connector, and he shuts them down across the board.
I think some people in a lot of situations like that where the smokes are designed to get map control, they go in and they see a duel and they encounter the duel and it slows them down and gives themselves away. KNG just runs for it. He just goes. He's very aggressive and he wants the position more than the kills because he knows the kills should follow if he gets there. So same as what we saw actually when we were casting Henry. He just instantly books it there.
It's really cool in that respect. So yeah, that's really disappointing. And the bad news is, James, really bad news, as you pointed out, that was their map pick. We go on to Cash next, right? And they looked abysmal on the CT side of that earlier today as well. So I'm not feeling too hopeful for Cloud9 here. They haven't turned up to their own map pick, and they've looked lights out on this map in previous situations, and I'm just not that excited for map number 2. This looks like 2-0 all day long.
How tilted do you think Cloud9 will be right now in this kind of break
well,
between the maps?
Knowing this team very well, we're good friends with Stu and Automatic, sometimes I talk to them quite a lot. Yeah. I know, especially those two guys, if they have bad games themselves, they bicker between each other, and this is when they'll start saying, I'm not calling anymore, you do it, and they'll start throwing that around, and Nothing will be there having a nightmare trying to sort the whole situation out. It can just take one map. They're a team of very young men, and there can be loose cannons at time, especially if they're not performing themselves. They think, oh, it's just me in-game leading, that's why I'm not fragging right now, so anything could be going on. But I'm sure they're probably not as bad as I'm kind of building out to be right now. It's still the best of 3. Lost the first map, but it's your own pick, and you know you move on to Cash. That's the problem for me. I don't think they'll be able to deliver a performance much better than that.
Yeah, they could bounce back. But before we find out if they do on Cash, let's have a look at the Mummy MVP for Train, and it is Lucas.
Yeah, not bad at all.
5.56. That's one of the higher ones we've seen today. A lot of opening kills. 25 kills total and 17 deaths.
Just like Tom Cruise, he did all of his own stunts that game.
Yes, he did. He did. Quite an impressive guy, that Tom Cruise.
6 assists, retake, post-plant kills. No clutches, but we'll let him off this time. And 5 opening kills. That's the main stat. That's really cool. So that's nice for him. Lucas has been up and down this tournament. Didn't look amazing at the earlier stages, but today looked lights out. So that's really great. And Henny has as well. The twins are really going at it, James.
So as we go into Cash, Sadikist, do we feel like this is going to be like this is Immortals' pick, but it's also it's their pick because it's a very powerful map for them, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a map that I actually think, unlike SK, Immortals have always been good on. SK seems to have their struggles with it. They've kind of warmed up to it a little more recently because I think they're trying to broaden their map pool, making changes, getting rid of FNX. It was during that time period they were starting to work on it. But overall, yeah, Immortals seem to just always have some sort of aggression. I think especially Henny. Henny's been amazing on this map time and time again, and they love to put relentless mid-pressure on with his AWP. So I'm interested to see that. I don't know if Cloud9's got anything to answer right now. Without the Scott-o-matic, we'll go with this time. No, Stu-o-matic.
The main problem we've got,
They don't have anything.
The CT side on the A-bomb side, that's where Stewie and Automatic are playing together. they've just played one of the worst performances of their tournament so far there. They're not going to be feeling great. They've lost their mojo, it seems. Going into this one, up against Immortals, they're all fired up. They've got to defend that ace site, one of the main areas of the entire map. I don't think they're going to be able to step up and deliver a good performance here. But who knows? Best of 3, anything can and will happen, and hopefully they can bounce back. We haven't seen 3 maps all tournament, so it'd be nice to see that. You know, Cobblestone.
That's a good point. We have not seen 3 maps yet. And I thought today we might see 3 maps every single time, to be honest with you.
I believe we're going to go to an interview with one of Cloud. It's a media day video, apparently. Yes, okay.
Yeah, it would have been filmed on Wednesday.
Yes, cool. So from Santa Ana, where the players have been playing, we have a media day video for you to watch before the next map.